Hello, and thanks for tuning in. As always, I'm Reverend JR, and today we're going to take a look at this. I even decided to make this video before the one I'm going to talk about the Flat Earth in, so you can consider this a special treat. I know a lot of people have done this, but they all seem to be missing some points that I wanted to add, at least the ones I've seen. So let's get right into it.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Ever shared this? Or this? Nothing like a good reaction GIF, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever shared either of those, but good reaction GIFs are fine.
But you've probably noticed the most popular ones are of black people being dramatic.
No, that's not what I notice at all. In fact, they're all pretty much evenly used because that's how reactions tend to work. Like, most of my reactions are not exaggerated, so they're not going to be exaggerated black people. In fact, a lot of the ones I see happen to be a lot of anime stuff, because I'm a weeb, and I follow a lot of weebs. So, no.
This is digital blackface.
No, this is digital blackface. GIFs are just GIFs. Reaction ones are just ones that are used for reactions. And if anything, I got more weeb face than blackface.
Blackface is when a non-black person uses makeup to blacken up. Minstrel shows depicted black people in all sorts of negative ways.
Yeah, they did. We should remember our history so we don't repeat it, right? We should also be allowed to discuss bad things in the past so that they don't hold crazy power over us and prevent us from getting on with our lives. Stop living 7 decades ago, I guess?
They were mocking, demeaning stereotypes, and they exaggerated black people's facial features and their expressions.
Well, it's a good thing that never happens to anyone else of any race or color anywhere in the world at any given time now, isn't it? It's an unfortunate thing that only happens to people who are specifically the same identity that you choose. Right?
And digital blackface is the 21st century version of that.
I know this might melt your mind, but no, you're wrong. There are not modern minstrel shows
A long time ago, way back in history.
which showcase the difference between the races. Like, this isn't 1920 when the black man had to use his own bathroom and, so on. This is America in the modern day. I hate to say it, but it's nothing like that at all. Now, there are arguably some shows whose entire premise is predicated upon things like black culture. But it's not the white man representing you with blackface. It's literal black people doing things that they identify as black themselves. Like rap battles, for example. Those were really popular in the 90s. Are you saying those entire genres of shows should not exist simply because minstrel shows were a thing a century ago? Are you out of your mind?
Exaggerated blackness. And that's not all. Let's talk about white people using dark-skinned emojis.
Or what about not so black people using black people emojis? I thought colorism was a very important thing that we should address also. Are you telling me you shouldn't worry about that now? Why is it only gotta be white people? What about the people that are like brown, or yellow, or even red, since I'm here in America, and natives are a thing? Are you saying that Africans shouldn't use Aboriginal emojis? Or Native American ones? Are you saying black people shouldn't use white emojis? Or can you maybe understand there's a reason some of us do not care? Because we aren't racist like you.
How are we going to get rid of racism? Start talking about it.
And the race, honestly, doesn't bug us. Most emojis are yellow. Are you saying that's appropriating The Simpsons? Are you out of your mind?
Start talking about it. Start talking about it. Start talking about it.
This is a form of cultural appropriation.
Start talking about it.
Paying little respect to someone else's culture and using it however you please.
Hey, you see that scientific method, the English language, the technology you're using to record this video, the technology you're using to broadcast this video. You see the Western culture that's educated you to the point where you can make these arguments and has taught you things like agriculture that allows you to break free of the cycle of hunting and gathering that gives you enough free time to make the video in the first place, yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop appropriating Western culture, quit wearing Western-style clothing, quit eating Western-style foods, quit posting in Western languages on your social media, and go back to whatever culture you identify with and isolate yourself from all others so as to not appropriate any of my history, like drinking vodka, or beer, or eating processed foods, or living in a democracy, or having buildings made of concrete, or any of the other things that are not African culture. Give up your currency because even capitalism is not a black thing. It's arguably Asian or a Western invention the way we use it currently, like getting digital payments, another thing that it started in the West and not in Africa for some reason. So again, if you don't want to appropriate our white culture, then quit assimilating into it and leave.
So what's wrong with white people posting these GIFs and using these emojis?
Nothing.
Well, black people are not here for other people's entertainment.
No one is forcing you to be on the television. If you are not here for my entertainment, then leave.
We're not symbols of excessive emotion, excessive emotion, excessive emotion, excessive emotion, excessive emotion.
I don't honestly know what those two words are, so I can't say if you are or are not or not. I just can't. I don't understand. Quit appropriating my language if you don't want to speak it correctly. How about that? How about that?
And we aren't here, 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 and we aren't here.
I can't understand you.
To make you look more sassy, more sexy, or more street. We don't want to be seen as having two-dimensional personalities.
Oh my god, like, quit appropriating my two-dimensional culture. You can't do that.
Let us decide for ourselves how we wish to be perceived.
Sorry, Buttercup, but it doesn't work that way. People will perceive you however they perceive you, and there's really nothing you can do about it. Now suck it up, Buttercup, because people are going to see you in whatever light they want, and there ain't much you can do about it.
Now, I'm not saying you have to be black to post these GIFs.
So what you're saying is you just wasted 5 minutes of my time telling me how I shouldn't do things, but then I'm fine to go ahead and do them. Because reasons. That's not confusing at all, is it? Well, anyway, that's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed that, go ahead and click the little thumbs up or the upvote button. Subscribe or follow if you haven't already. And let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, this has been Reverend JR, signing off.